Jerusalem's lamb bears no tint of any pigment but pure white. No spot or stain adheres to it, the wool luxuriant and bright. Each soul that never bore a spot becomes the lamb's stainless wife, and there is no place for spite among our thousands, blessed with life. Each 1,000, multiplied by 5, would only make us praise and bless the more. In a host, love can thrive and wax in honour, never less. None of us is less in bliss who bears a pearl upon her breast. Those whom a spot belies, with pearls or crowns, are never blessed. Although our corpses are clad in clods, and you are grieving without rest, we have new life beyond old loss, and in one death place all our trust. The Lamb, our joy, from cares released, moved to delight at every Mass, and each bride's bliss is brightest, best of all, none is honoured any the less. You give less credence to my tale than you should. Look in the Apocalypse. I say, says John, the Lamb stands tall on Mount Zion, is lovely and thrives, 100,000 in his trail, 44,000 more than this, and on their foreheads, true to tell, the Lamb's name and the Father's, a choir from heaven uplifts and sings like overflowing rivers, floods and thunder rumbling in the clouds, a rising clamour, and never less. Nevertheless, though that shout is sharp, and though the myriad voice is loud, a new sound makes my spirits leap. To listen is to love. A great cloud of spirits plucking upon harps, the new song clearly declaimed in discourse sonorous and steep, harmonies, melodies, undefiled before God's throne, a flood of song. 4 beasts bow and bless the aldermen, the grave and good, sing it loudly and never less. Nevertheless, none is so skilled in song, for all the craft they might possess, that they could sing the slightest strain of that hymn, except for those of the Lamb's company, the earth's slain, first fruits, set aside as gods, the Lamb's treasures, kept from spoiling, like him in colour, clad in clothes of heaven, dressed in truth and love's assurance. Their sweet tongues confess, their spotless, indissoluble, heavenly lives are in their matchless Master, never less. Nevertheless, I cannot help but thank you, Pearl, I say, though I chose to question heavenly wisdom with rank worldliness. To Christ's chamber you arose, while I floundered in mud and muck, and you sprang up so rich, a rose, a living bloom on this blissful bank where delight's angels never close their eyes on the beauty I must lose, my fleeting hind. How can I express my worldly thoughts, rough-hewn and coarse? Yet grant me one boon, nevertheless. Nevertheless, I call you, loud and clear, to see if you will heed my plea. My jewel without a stain or smear, and ruefully cry, humour me. Where are the battlements so sheer to protect you, and your manor? I can't see it anywhere. Is Jerusalem near, where David was enthroned? Does he reign yet in these woods, this tree? It's in Judea, that noble court. Since you're now so blemish-free, your home must have no stain or mote. That mote-free company who glide by thousands in so thick a throng must need somewhere to reside, some gallery for jewels held strong against conquest. You cannot live outside. Yet by these banks I walked so long, wandering with eyes held wide, but saw no house fit for a king or his ladies. You're alone, lingering to watch this stream with leaves afloat. If you've a home, lead me along to its gates, across its moat. A moat and city in Judea, that precious spice says to me, bore palms as my lamb drew near, to writhe and suffer grievously, the old Jerusalem. And there guilt was bound and man set free. But a new Jerusalem is here, founded by God's embassy, the spotless Lamb its emissary. He made us citizens of his state, and all our eyes can clearly see his city unobscured by moats. Two moated cities, true to say, are called Jerusalem nevertheless. You know the meaning of that name, city of God or place of peace. In one, our peace was regained, the Lamb suffered there by choice. In the other, our peace is claimed, it lasts and will never cease, the city to which all make haste, once their flesh is laid to rot, where bliss and bounty only increase, its citizens without one mote. Mote-free maid, so mild and meek, I cry out to that lovely flower, that second city then I seek, take me to that blissful bower. The maid says, that may never be, God guards it like a garrisoned tower. The Lamb let down the bridge for me, though but a glimpse is great favour. You may gaze upon its cloister with luck, but you'll not set foot inside, or walk its streets by any power, unless you're clear of the merest mote. You want to see beyond that moat? Follow this stream toward its source, and though its banks may never meet, I'll walk in step with you its course till you reach a hill. I cannot wait. I go beneath boughs beautifully dressed in leaves, climb the hill, and what I want is there, a city, the rise traversed with joy, beyond the brook, enclosed in the vale below. Sun-bright it shines, almost blinding, as it is described in the Apocalypse of Apostle John. As John the Apostle plainly saw, I see that city, so well renowned, Jerusalem renewed. No flaw mars it, as though it has descended from open heaven, burnished more brightly than gold or glass, studded with gleaming gems, 12 tiers adorned with stones, the whole house burdened with jewels. 12 buttresses tenoned and grooved, each tier topped with stone, as splendid as the town described in the Apocalypse of Apostle John. John's scripture numbered and named them, these stones. His tally was clear. Jasper I notice first, a mottled gem, glinting green on the ground's tier. Second, sapphires, spark and gleam, and white quartz, rosy and pure. The third is pearl, white as cream, the fourth emerald, green and sheer. I tremble as I venture near. And onyx is the dark fifth stone, and sixth the ruby, just as sure as the Apocalypse of Apostle John. John also mentioned the chrysolite, a 7th buttress, gold and green. The 8th is beryl, clear and white, twin-toned topaz, buttress 9, blue-green chrysoprase, 10, well-wrought, orange jacinth, I count 11. 12, a salve for any blight, is amethyst, purple, indigo riven. The wall above the tiers? An ocean of yet more glassy jasper, long and perfect. I know the description, out of Apocalypse. The Apostle, John. John described it, I see it there. The 12 steps are broad and bare, above them the city, full square, its breadth and length an equal share. The streets, gold and glass, they glare like egg white in the candle, clear and shining. The houses almost blare their cleanness, the stones all wear the same bright sheen, the walls sheer for 12 whole furlongs. I stare, it's gone into the distance. Measure it? I don't dare, I leave that to the Apostle John.